Hello everybody, my name is Rojo and welcome back to Wizardry 7. Last time we were exploring New City. Still, and I imagine we'll be doing that for quite a while yet. But we ran into Rodin Luerx, so good to know that he is in fact still alive. He's still looking for Shritus. We got some Savant Guards here. I guess we'll deal with them real quick. Actually, why don't we back that up? We think here, you're a lord. No, that's fine. You can attack, you're going to hide, you can attack, you're going to hide, and you are going to use the thingamajig. Like so. So anyway, yeah, we ran into Rodin Luerx. I think it was him who had first mentioned to us that there's a black market at the Arms of Argus. We haven't found that location yet, but perhaps in time. We also found a temple with a guy named Father Roulette running it, as well as an inn run by someone named Dungor. So we're finding some interesting stuff over time here, and we got ourselves a lord level, pretty good, but not good enough. I think let me just double check Nerb here. He needs a lot of stats, I think, like a lot of stats. I think I'm not going to keep this level, so we're just gonna do things like this, and then I'm going to reload the game. We haven't really gone very far, so. And doesn't really matter what I give you. There we go. Oh, and then we got some ninja levels. Yeah, just give me a sec. Alright, so moving right along here. Seems like we haven't explored this part of the town, or maybe did my map get erased? I don't know. I'm a little confused as to what's going on with that. But let's see here. There's a cold dullness to the town of New City. As you pause and listen to the howl of the wind whistling through the alleyways of the city, you can almost hear faint whispers from behind drawn shuttered windows, and the clatter of footsteps underneath the rustle of scattering leaves, as if some dark cloud had descended upon the place, choking from it the sparkle of life that perhaps it once possessed. This kind of reminded me of Barovia a little bit, to some extent, and with less complaining. Alright, well, it looks like we get a second chance at these guys. A Savant Trooper, though. This guy's a little different. We will still deal with him accordingly. And I think 2 people attacking the trooper's probably going to be sufficient. So I'm not going to sweat that too much. Hopefully we get a better level this time. Nerb really needs a lot of speed and a lot of other stats. So he's kind of my main concern right now. Looks like Alima got paralyzed there. And we didn't kill the one guy either. Well, you hide again, you fight, I think, and you'll hide, and then you give me a cure paralysis on her. There we go, she's back in action. There we go, we got the Savant Trooper. So they're tough, but not that tough. Alright, and now we should be able to deal with the rest of these jokers kind of the old-fashioned way, I would think. Just regular fighting is fine. So yeah, Nerb has to get speed next time he levels up. Vitality, dexterity, and no, it's not good enough. So I'm probably going to just do a couple fights, even if that means I have to spin in place, just so I can get the level that I want, and then we can continue on. Alrighty, Nerb finally got his point of speed. That's all he got, but you know what? We'll take it. I had to redo the fight a few times. Luckily, that is a forced encounter tile, so it was always that same fight, basically. So that does make things a little bit faster, at the very least. Let's give you Conjuration. And you are probably going to be actually just fine as far as stats go, if I had to guess. Got quite a nice level up there anyway. But let's see. Ulu needs mostly piety, I think. He's pretty darn close by the looks of it, so I'm not too concerned about him. Alright, so you've got the climbing that you require now. Let's give you a little bit more of this, I think. And just keep on with that. Alright, Firebomb, Charm Confusion, Cure Poison, etc., etc. I mean, Firebomb is not a bad idea. We've got a couple people who cure poison now, so I'm feeling a little bit better about that. You also get Acid Bomb, but I'm going to go with Firebomb here. Alright, Valkyrie level. I think she still needs something, but that was a pretty good level up, all things considered. Actually, no, she's all set. So we don't have to worry about her at all. So we'll just go ahead and do that, and a little bit of that. And a little bit of that, and a little bit of, let's see here. A little bit more theology, I guess. New Valkyrie spell, not really a whole lot to choose from here. Tell you what, why don't we give her Superman? We'll see if that spell's any good at some point. Alright, Monk level, you got 1 point of Vitality. That doesn't seem very good. But you kind of need a smattering of different things, and you got a little bit more time to get there, so not going to sweat that too much. We'll give you some more Poland Staff. And we'll give you some more of that. Some more of that. A little bit more Theosophy in your life. And what do you have for spells? I think these are both tempting. We're going to have plenty of time to get those, though, I think. I'm going to pick up the Illusion spell. And apparently this is an exit to New City. So let's just take a quick dip outside, I guess. And we'll just see what's going on out here. Another road. Let's take a look at our map. So I'm guessing this is the east exit. Alrighty, I forgot to take the map down again. That keeps getting me into trouble. It's hard to remember things sometimes. But we're a little bit farther into New City. You can see we're just a little bit west of where we were. We are going to go here to the New City Library. I have been in here, but we'll come back in. So a vivid red emblem has been attached to the door, the significance of which is not clear. Cautiously, you look around, wary of the foreboding emblem which marked the front of the library door. The interior of the library is quite dusty and cluttered, being filled with shelves of books and old scrolls. It would require days to search through them all, and even then, it is unlikely that anything here would be of much use. For some reason, you turn and cast a glance sideways toward the north end of the room, and there, perched slightly apart from the volumes around it, you spy a dark red book. But suddenly you are startled by the gaunt figure of one of the ghoulish Savant Guards, unearthly still, uncannily poised in the corner beside the shelf on which the book rests. Ready to jump into action, yet still frozen where you stand, before you can react, your senses tell you that there is something peculiar about the situation. Within the heartbeat of the next moment, you can see that the dreaded guardian is not reacting nor making motions of any kind. Whether it is entranced or dead or asleep, you cannot tell. Perhaps there is some secret power or weakness to which it has succumbed. Whatever has affected it, you start breathing again and find that it is totally oblivious to your presence. Well, isn't that interesting? And if we go right over here, silently cursing yourselves as fools, you carefully approach the dormant Savant Guard. Sure enough, it seems to be deactivated in some fashion, and there on the shelf before you, the dark red book beckons. So, I did not take the book. I have not tried either of these options yet. We're just going to walk away for now. I assume we can always come back. And, we are going to instead go here. Behind a flutter of papers inside the inner chamber of the library, you surprise an old and gray rat-like creature who apparently does not like surprises. Who are you? Why can't you leave me to work in peace? Besides, I gave the city blueprints to the strangers that were here just before you, if that's what you're looking for. Now leave me alone. So this is Professor at Wonderland. We've had a long conversation. I am actually going to do one thing that I didn't do before, which is try a mind read. Does anybody else have mind read other than you? Did I give that to Ulu? Or to Fenpo? I did not. Alright, well, we'll try a mind read with Nerb here. Because I've not done this yet. Level 1 it is. We get nothing. Not surprising. Alright, well, we are going to talk with Nerb here. Hello. Yes, who are you? I've asked him anything that I could, almost anything anyway, I could possibly want to ask him. You're a Professor Wonderland. What do you do? I am making a record of our history. What record? The history of Old City. That's what I've been researching. Listen and I'll tell you what I've learned. A long time ago, everyone lived together here, all in the same city, Old City. Life was simple for our ancestors, and there was a common purpose, to fulfill the law of something called the Sacred Stone. But as time went on, there was a disagreement among the meaning of the sacred writing. Everyone began having different ideas, and they began to fight amongst themselves. Different groups were formed, each claiming to represent the one true interpretation of the Sacred Stone. In time, each faction created their own version of the Sacred Stone, rewriting it to confirm their own beliefs. The original Sacred Stone was lost, obscured, and forgotten. Eventually, all anyone knew was dependent upon the beliefs of the faction unto which they were born. Naturally, the different factions began to separate. Soon, newer cities were constructed in the surrounding regions, and the Old City was abandoned. All evidence of our original common ancestry disappeared. There were wars. The simple life had come to an end, and each faction began to evolve in an entirely different way. Some believed that this was bad, others claimed that it was all foretold, and a few others yet say that this is all as it should be. Hundreds of years passed. Then one day a strange thing occurred. A group of strangers appearing calling themselves the Higardi. They said they came from the mountains where they had been living in the ages since the fall of Old City. They had achieved great scientific wonders, and they wished to share their knowledge with all. A common ground was needed for all the differing factions to meet with the Higardi, and so New City was constructed, and it was built on top of Old City. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, the Higardi vanished. No one knows exactly what happened. There must have been some purpose, but no one knows what it is. And so then, at last, here we are. Whew, alright, well, here's the thing. If we ever ask him about Old City again, I'll have to read that whole thing. I've been through that conversation like 4 or 5 times now. So, we'll never ask him about history or Old City again. Alright, so there are some other things we want to ask him about. A lot of things, in fact. First we can start with, what is the Sacred Stone? It is a sacred law created at the beginning of time. If we ask him about the law, he doesn't really understand that. We can also ask him about the Higardi. They were very mysterious. We know little about them. Where are they? It is said they came from the mountains beyond the sea. So I'm going to put the map up. I'm going to remember to switch it back. Mountains beyond the sea. Ah. Perhaps down here near the Dragon Mountains? Possibly. Very possibly. But for now, we'll just keep that in the back of our mind. Beyond that, we can ask him what mountains. It's probably not going to matter. Well, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting this. It is rumored a great monster guards the secret of the seas. What monster? Don't know. What secret of the seas? Yeah, what if I ask him about the secret? Alright, so he doesn't know about that. He also mentioned when we first interrupted him here, some blueprints. What? Blueprints? The blueprints of Old City, part of my records on our history. Ah, we might want those. Where are the blueprints? You no longer have them, only my history notes. Dare I ask him about the notes? No, you dick. Alright, give me a second. Alright, so I got through that again. There's so much that we can still ask this guy, though. When I was trying to ask him about the Savant Guard in the other room, I asked him, what's Savant? The Savant Kui Saka accept the nature of our kind. I don't know if that's supposed to be accepts or what, but if we ask, who is Kui Saka, we just get the same thing. So we'll just have to remember that name. I have no idea who that's supposed to be. If we ask what Dark Savant, we get the Dread Ruler of the Galaxies. Where is the Dark Savant? No one knows. Where is Kui Saka? What was his name? I think I typed that right. Where is Kui Saka? Everywhere at once. What is Kui Saka? Some kind of god or something, I guess? I'm not really sure. Still, there's more that we can ask him, though. Or he said he gave the blueprints to some strangers, so maybe, what strangers? They were much like yourself, only different. Where are the strangers? They didn't say what were the strangers doing? Where were the strangers going? Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get much out of that, but interesting. So, somebody's got blueprints to Old City. We can also ask him about what terrain? The terrain accept the nature of our kind. What kind, actually? I don't know about that. What Umpani? The Umpani should be slowly gnawed and tortured. Ah, interesting. So he doesn't like the Umpani. He likes the terrain. And when he says the nature of our kind, I assume he means ratmen. Specifically, is my guess. Trying to think of anything else that I might want to ask him. Yeah, there are, heard any rumors? Sure. You heard a rumor about history? Right. We don't want that. I don't know if I asked him this yet. Making a record of our history? Sure. I'm not gonna sweat that too much. And in fact, I don't think I have anything else that I want to ask. Actually, no. We can ask him about the, what red book? Little time for such things? What is the red book? Where is the red book? Yeah, he has a little time for such things, but I guess we're not going to get any hints as to what's going on with that book from him, even though it's apparently in his possession. Okay. So that was quite a lot of talking. But I think we've done what we can here. We can see about a trade, maybe? No, he doesn't have anything for us to trade. We could try stealing from him. I'm not going to do that just yet. I think we're going to just leave Professor Wunderland alone for now. And save the game. And then probably go mess with the book against my better judgment. Anything here? It would seem that there is not. Okay. Let's try and take the book and see what happens. I think it's going to go very poorly. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Take the book. Let's have Nerb do it. Deftly, you sneak the book from the shelf. Not even a breeze. The Savant Guardian remains in its somnolent state. We found one book. I'll give it to Fempo. Does Nerb have, like... His dex isn't particularly good. He, doesn't have Legerdemain or Skullduggery. I think there's something else afoot here. I think there's definitely something else afoot here. Let's assay this. We failed to assay it. Let's have you maybe try to identify it instead. Book and Fables, special resistances none. And now we do the dumbest part yet, which is try to read the book. Oh, The Witch's Tale. Once upon a time, there was a goodly witch by the name of Helinda, I guess, who was very powerful and beautiful. She lived high upon a mountain top and ruled all the lands below her as far as the eye could see. Being a fair and just witch, she was provider and benefactor to all the animals dwelling within her domain, and often appeared to passing strangers in times of need. She had been born of parents who also were witches and had inherited the power to foretell the future, a very rare and special gift, even for a witch. But coming from a family of witches, she was not an only child. 4 sisters, envious of her beauty and jealous of her power, also lived in the mountains, and as every day passed, they became more and more resentful of her popularity and her goodness. So the 4 sisters bonded together and decided that they would undo all the good that Helinda had done and torment her and be just as nasty as they could. And the 4 sisters took upon themselves the names of the North, the South, the East, and the West, so that they would cover all the lands around them and ensure that no foul deed would go undone. But for every dirty trick, for every heinous crime, for every little bit of badness that they could do, Helinda was always there to thwart them and turn their horrible deeds into good ones. For remember, Helinda could see into the future and always knew what her sisters were going to do, even before they themselves knew. And so the day finally came when the 4 sisters said enough was enough, and the time had come for them to put a stop to Helinda once and for all. One night, while Helinda lay sleeping, dreaming of good things, they sneaked into her chamber and invoked a terrible magic spell upon her. They cast a spell to steal her face. Her beautiful face, her nose, her mouth, her ears, and her enchanted eyes were severed and plucked from her, and each of the sisters took a part of Helinda's face so that then they would all have a share of their sister's magical power and of her beauty. But Helinda was wise to them and had foreseen her sisters, what her sisters had been planning to do. And that night before she slept, she anointed herself with a special potion, which turned her face into gold. And when her mouth, her nose, her ears, and her eyes were stolen, it did not hurt her, and she did not die. And because her features were no longer of flesh and blood, each of the 4 sisters' own face was replaced with a part of gold. But Helinda was cut off from the outside world, alone and with no face. The 4 sisters now rule the mountains and terrorize the surrounding lands, and do all kinds of horrible things, and to repay Helinda for her cleverness and cursing them with a feature of gold, every night they torment her, sending demons and spooks and ghouls and fiends to poke and tear at her and make her feel just awful. They say that the 5 sisters still live in those mountains, and that every night just before the witching hour, if you look through a witching glass, you can see the spirits come down into the forest dancing their dance of torture, cruelty, and pain around Helinda, and that to this very day she still roams the mountains waiting for someone to make her whole and beautiful again, waiting for someone to bring back her face. The end. Interesting. We've heard a rumor about witches in the mountains before. Perhaps we will encounter these witches if in fact the legends are true. Now the Savant Guard, I don't know, was just standing there. Maybe they ran out of batteries. I don't really know how they worked. I assume that they were human. or, you know, something similar to it. At any rate, let's just keep on cruising as much as we can here. It's pretty dense little location, the library there. Alright, we got some Gorns here. I ain't worried about some Gorns, if I'm being real with you. So let's just deal with these guys as best we can, and we'll probably get a level up as well. Yeah, I'm not worried about some Gorns. Gorns, I forget what the manual says about Gorns. I think they're supposed to have an extremely powerful military, but I don't remember the rest of the details. At any rate, let's finish these guys off, I think. Yeah, you go ahead and fight those guys. You fight. Everybody else, just fight. That's fine. One shot in these guys with the good weapons. And when we backstab them with our fists. Alright. Just a few left. No problem. Very nice. I don't know if I mentioned it, but in the previous game, the Spear of Death could poison enemies. I don't know if that's still the case here. I would expect it probably is. I guess I'll take the spear. But also, if an enemy died to that poison or any poison, you wouldn't get any XP from them supposedly. I don't know if that's still true or not. All right, well, we've got a spear here. We don't really need that. I guess we'll sell it later. May end up just dropping a bunch of this stuff. And we just lost our detect secrets. You know what? Let's just do a quick little nap here. Alright, detect secret backup. Rested a little bit. We will remember that the library is here, of course. Red emblem, etc., etc. Didn't think to ask what's his name about the emblem. I guess I could do that real quick. If I can remember how to get into the library itself. It was this one, yeah. Unless this is actually, no, this is a different place. I'm a little confused. So there's a red emblem in there. So, maybe there's multiple red emblems? I guess that could be. This is the library. Yeah, a lot of red emblems in this part of town. I wonder if that means that this is like terrain territory? Alright, so let me just ask this guy about the emblem real fast. What emblem? You don't know about that. Alright. Bye. Fair enough. It was worth just checking real quick, I think. Alright, where does this door here go to? This door is locked. Interesting. Let's try one of our keys. Or, well, our only key, really. Oh, it worked! Well, I was not expecting that. And more Savant Guards. Not a problem. We can deal with some Savant Guards. And perhaps we'll get a better level at the end of this as well. I do wonder if we're actually going to find anything here. I suppose we'll see shortly enough. And go ahead and we'll just fight. I was actually just thinking, we do have something we could give Elise maybe instead of her spear. If it's long enough range, which I think it might be. Alright, speed, speed, dex, yes. Okay. That's a level that I could be happy with. So go ahead and give yourself some more sword skill, please. Give yourself some more climbing skill. Give yourself some of that. And what else did we give you? Give you some more theology, I think. And a new spell to go with it. I think probably want to give you a Cure Poison. I mean, somebody else with Enchanted Blade is always fine. Make Wounds, doesn't grab me. Bunch of spells here, but no, we're going to give you Cure Poison. Whirlwind, I guess, could be good as well for an AoE magic attack. But I think Cure Poison is just a little bit more important. Alright, you get a monk level. I don't even remember what you need, but you got strength. Let me take a look at Fempo again. So he needs int, dex, and speed. So he needs a couple points there, a couple points there, but his speed is actually fine, I think. Oh no, he needs vitality. So yeah, he's needs a little something something, but he's not terrible just yet. So I'm going to leave him be. And there you go, there's that. I'm going to give you a little bit more oratory, I think. And a little bit more of that. Alright, let's see here. Theosophy, please. So you need 98 in a particular spell school, I guess, or spell book, whatever you want to call it, to be able to get the highest level spells. We may or may not get there with Fempo, but we're going to try. Sonic Blast is interesting. Especially since we don't have anybody who has it. But at the same time, we don't have anybody who has this either. I'm going to pick up Dazzling Lights this time, I think. Alright. Anything in here? Oh, yes there is. Let's try and open this chest. Excuse me, I wish to open the chest. Open? Ah, here we go. Open. Alright, let's have you give me a... maybe not you, actually. Let's have you. No, you don't have very many spell points either. Just trying to see... oh, I didn't realize Ulu had Identify as well. Just trying to find somebody to cast Divine Trap. Yeah, there we go. Who has actual spell points? So there we go. There's that. Let's try and disarm it with you, actually. Inspect. So we're not sure about those two. But definitely the three on the bottom. I don't see anything here that even looks remotely close. Oh, no, we're sure about the two on the top, but we're not sure about the three on the bottom. That makes far more sense. Okay. It's gotta be toxic gas, I would think. So that's what we're gonna go for. Number 1, 2, balls. Probably gonna try this one again. I think we might be able to get this one. And who knows if we really need any of this stuff anyway. Well, Gertrude's still having some difficulty with this, so I'm going to try and do this with Elise instead. We're just going to have to keep putting points into her, into Gertrude's Skullduggery if we want to get this. But we got that pattern there, so we're looking at a Fireball spell. That's nice. Now this is red. If we get it while this is green, it'll be white, and I think that's what we want, because if we open it when it's red, I think it still has a chance to go off, or maybe it always goes off. I don't know. See, there you go. Alright, so we're good to go on that one. Good to go on that one. And not good on that one, as you can see. So we should be able to successfully disarm this one. I'm just going to give it another try here. Hey, I think that's the first time I've successfully disarmed a trap. And our reward is a bunch of stuff that we probably actually don't even care about. But we will take it and we'll take a look at it real quick with whoever's available. All right. Save the game. I wonder, did you get any additional skill? You might have. 1 point. All right, let's just say some stuff. So a terror scroll, we don't care about that. There is like a scribe skill in this game, I think. A Superman potion, that could be useful. Some kind of powder. Poison gas powder, snake dust. Could also be useful, potentially. And then last but not least, we got these wands here. Sparkle sticks. We have sparkle sticks. Let's merge those together, I think. And I guess you can just hang on to the rest. All right, well, that's going to do it for this time. When we come back, I guess, more New City exploration. I don't know how much more we have, but there's a lot of info in that library. We got a lot of leads to follow up on at this point. So I think once we get out of New City, we're going to have a ton of information. And hopefully that'll help us when we end up wherever it is we end up next.